Welcome back to Ashua Podcast. Today we are going to continue to speak about Atlantis, and we will explore if Atlantis truly fell. We are going to do so by combining what we've already learned in multiple episodes, and I like to just dive straight into it. So as we explore if Atlantis truly fell, I would like for us to recap what we have already learned. We are souls, and we live multiple lifetimes, and every lifetime has multiple timelines. What is a timeline? A timeline is, we could say, a story. Right now, if you keep the same mindset, if you keep the same energy, your life will look a certain way. You will continue to make the same kind of decisions until something happens. Something happens that makes you realize that that wasn't a good decision. So you shift your frequency, you shift your mindset, and next time you act differently, or you make a good decision and you feel like, oh, I should do this more often, and you shift your energy and you shift your mindset. By doing so, you are shifting timeline. When we speak about shifting timelines, we refer to the idea that on every timeline you have a certain frequency. And as you shift your frequency, as you shift your mood, you will make different choices, you will make different decisions, and that will help you level up or down. But of course, we want to level up. And in the video about parallel lifetime healing, we spoke about that you are an oversoul, a big soul that lives multiple lifetimes. And because your soul has the same oversoul, the same or similar essence to the soul of all of your lifetimes, you are entangled. And that means that if you stimulate any of the versions of you entangled, you shift everything. As an example, let's say we have you in this lifetime and then you in Atlantis. There's a version of you living here on Earth, and it's a version of you living in Atlantis. Yep, this happens simultaneously. And depending on your frequency, you will be entangled with a certain version of your Atlantean self on a certain timeline. Let's say in both of these lifetimes, you experience similar trauma. You experience similar challenges. And because you do so, you get more entangled with this lifetime compared to the others. And as we said in the episode about parallel lifetime healing, if you shift in one lifetime, you shift in the other lifetime as well. Because you get in resonance. You start to hear your own thoughts from the different lifetimes. And let's say you're in Atlantis or doing a lot of research, or how can I heal this trauma? How can I feel better again? If you do that work, if you have a similar frequency and you do that work, if you continue somewhat to stay along with this resonance, you will start to receive downloads from here. You will start to realize what you did read many hours about in Atlantis. You will have it downloaded like that because you are in resonance. That's how I sometimes even question if I got pretty much straight A's in school, because I get a lot of downloads. This is downloads. I believe this is how it happens. We are vibrating in a similar frequency to a parallel version of us already knowing it. And it can be the all-knowing soul to begin with. That's a theory. My theory. Anyways, back to these two lifetimes. So, as a life coach and energy healer, I've noticed that there are especially three big common traumas that starseeds carry. Starseeds who haven't yet started their healing journey, they usually have big blockages, huge blockages in their throat, because they've been silenced in this lifetime, in other lifetimes, and there's usually a lot going on. And I love chakra healing, so I could go into depth in the different chakras, but I would say the throat chakra, it's really, really common to have blockages there. And another very common would be the witch wound. So basically, if you imagine that you one time lived as a witch and witchcraft wasn't allowed, it was very dangerous for you. Now, if that's literally what has happened, is one thing, but what I can say is that many people have the witch wound, meaning that the frequency that this represents, you could have been an alchemist in the Pleiades maybe one time, and that dynamic played out there. So it doesn't have to be that you were a witch on Earth, but the idea that you know witchcraft, that you know how to bend time and space, that you know how to do supernatural things, while most other people don't know how to do it, and this magic is considered to be dangerous, and you get in danger just because you are having these supernatural abilities. So a fear of telling people about your spirituality, about showing your spiritual talents, about being your true authentic self, that's usually where it ends up in the solar plexus chakra. And then we work with the sacral chakra and all of that. I don't know why I feel like speaking about the chakras. Apparently I do, but we're not going to do that. So let's continue on with the third thing. The third pattern that usually arises if you're a client and you come to me multiple times, usually within 4 sessions, we would have your Atlantean self visiting. Yeah, we would eventually start to speak about Atlantis, either in terms of activation or healing. And I believe that these 3 patterns, the throat chakra, fear of speaking up, fear of speaking your truth, and the witch wound, fear of being your true authentic self and showing that to the world, and 3, Atlantis. Could be the fall of Atlantis, can be other things from Atlantis as well, but something related to Atlantis is very common. I believe this to be common not only in my clients, but I believe this to be very common in starseeds overall. And I also believe that many starseeds are already aware of this. I believe that many starseeds have already done this healing. The throat, the witch wound, and Atlantis. And because many starseeds have done this healing, the timeline of Atlantis have now shifted. You see, as we mentioned, when you shift timeline in this lifetime, you shift timeline in their lifetime as well. When it comes to Atlantis, I have always seen a version of Atlantis making it, meaning a version of Atlantis that didn't fall. But the more I work, the more I encounter starseeds for every day, the more I look into it, it looks like Atlantis maybe never fell. Maybe enough starseeds, they've done the Atlantean healing, they've been going from a lower timeline to a higher timeline in themselves, in embodiment, in healing the karmic wounds that they carry in this lifetime that has been triggered in multiple ways. The trauma that has been connected to Atlantis, because many starseeds, they have healed that. Atlantis is also healed. And from what I see energetically, I do view the fall of Atlantis as a karmic cycle from Sirius, and that karmic cycle is healed by us remaining heart-centered. So I believe that enough people are remaining heart-centered for there to be a timeline of Atlantis that still thrives to be more prominent than the timelines where Atlantis fell. And this will be on an individual level. So if you like to channel and you like to channel for yourself, maybe you can see that Atlantis fell or Atlantis didn't fell, depending on how much of the Atlantean karmic patterns that you've been working on and with. And of course, you may have totally different beliefs, and that's perfectly fine. But what I want to tell you is that I do believe that you will start to hear more people speak about Atlantis never falling. Thank you for watching or listening to today's episode. I really hope that you have enjoyed it, and if you did, I would be really happy if you left a comment or a like. And of course, I do hope that you share this with your spiritual friend, and here are some other videos that I think that both you and your friend will like.